Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Live and Learn podcast. We are delighted today to have my dear friend Dan on. But before we introduce him, I'd love for you to like and subscribe and follow along so that we know you like our content and we can continue to deliver it to you. And if anybody you know owns a property, plans to buy property, or is in the business of selling property, you should really know a lot of this stuff. So, today I'm especially excited to welcome not just an expert, literally an expert. When you talk, it's like, I don't have many people that do that for me, but when you talk, it's enlightening, it's exciting. You do it for me, Dan. It's enlightening, it's exciting. I mean, it's you're so smart. Um, and just to know you is a privilege. And how long have we known each other, Dan?
16 years.
16 years. You said
Yeah.
September, so literally to the day.
16 years ago this month.
And Dan is the principal owner of Business Capital Resources, and he helps business owners, investors get funding, grow their businesses, acquire assets, and make smart investments for years. So, Dan, since it's been 16 years, do you remember that day?
And you are natural, by the way.
Thanks.
You were made for this. This is pretty cool.
Thanks. Yeah, it's fun.
I'm actually, I feel like a proud father right now.
Oh, you stop.
I knew you when you were, I can remember walking into the office on Route 1.
Yep.
And I said, because you had called and you had been sent over by a friend. I came to the front desk and I said, I'm here to see Candace. And she said, well, just look around. You'll see her. And there's this tornado of paperwork moving around behind a petition,
like the cartoon.
And as the tornado of paperwork moved around to the corner of the term, and then you popped out, and the level of energy that you exuded at that particular point in time, and albeit you were in heels and still not 5 feet tall, but it was just amazing. There was that much energy.
I've grown.
You're wearing your stilettos.
Now.
So the fact was that I think at the time, the transaction that we were brought together to try and put together was actually a visionary transaction on the part of the sponsor. And it was so that particular individual in business could move out of operating a multi-million-dollar company that he and one other person ran from a basement.
And he was a mess. I mean, let's talk about it. He didn't have all his affairs in order. You really helped guide him. He's very, very fortunate to have the connection with you, I think.
Like you and your infectious energy, he had his own version of infectious energy. And actually, it was incredibly gratifying to see him going from a sheet of paper idea to being able to build what is now a $10 million building as the new headquarters for his home.
Right.
His home business, which is now something that's become a visual feast every time you go up and down Route 1.
It really is. I'm very proud of it. I have to tell you. I feel like, I had a big hand in it, and it really does feel good.
It would not have happened without you.
I was so young too. I'm so thankful for the opportunities I had that young in life.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very fortunate.
Yeah, I was impressed.
Very fortunate. Yeah. Well, I have many don't know, I have a commercial background. I went and did commercial in the city for many years. I learned under some amazing mentors and really have some really great connections still in that world. And I really love doing commercial. Somehow, as you get older and life changes, and we didn't have Uber back then. I was really sick of all the parking tickets and, trying to get everywhere on time. It just became something that wasn't necessarily worth the hassle for me. And I love all things real estate, not just commercial. So it's really evolved since then, I'm sure you'd say.
Yeah, what you put together is impressive. And the things
you.
that are still on your horizon line are even more exciting.
Yeah.
So it's fun to watch.
Thank you, Dan.
It really is.
I love making you proud, my friend. So let's get to what you do. At what point, do I recommend you? And it's when it becomes a commercial loan, and it becomes a commercial loan as soon as there's 5 units or more to a property.
If you're talking about a mortgage, and if you're talking about residential, what a lot of folks don't realize is that seasoned people in the 1 through 4 family sector who've been investing for a while, are used to doing it a certain way. And
Mhm.
in many cases, it's their financial strength, their W-2 income, whatever other elements go into that particular approval on that side of the mortgage business. But
Mhm.
the minute that it becomes a fifth unit, everything changes. And it flips over from being a personal wherewithal lending decision to a financial dynamics of the operating property lending decision. At that point, you've really gone into it, what I actually consider to be a purer type of lending, because the merits of a property's operations from a
Mhm.
rental standpoint,
Right.
they're pretty easy to understand. You
Yeah.
have income, you have expenses.
Yeah.
They distill down into a combined NOI number. Underwriting will hit it with a few other, fractional elements of consideration, and it's pretty. In 5 minutes, you can understand precisely what the loan size should be at its current level based on the performance of that property. Gives somebody great advantage in negotiating the price of a property if they can embrace that.
I think the advantage is being armed with professionals that can help do all of this,
I
right?
I would like to think
So
so.
I hope that the viewers watching today really see the value and aligning with a lender, aligning with an agent that really can hold their hand and introduce them to the people and the banks that they really want to be in front of. So
Yeah.
I think that's part of the key to all of this success and why we work so well together.
Yeah, I agree.
So what makes what's really the process for a commercial loan that might be different? What makes it a little bit different from residential? I'm sure there's
The
differences.
roles are flipped,
Mhm.
where you find a home that you would like to buy, and most of the focus, although there's some focus on the home, most of the focus is actually on you
Right.
as a buyer
Right.
and what your financial profile looks like and what your front and back end ratio is.
Mhm.
In commercials, those roles are flipped. Uh, how that property performs today,
Right.
or in concept, if it's something that's being built and eventually going to become a rental property, those numbers drive the decision
Mhm.
in terms of loan size and whether or not it's a great deal or a not so great deal, or it's grotesquely overpriced, or if it's the bargain of the century.
Mhm.
Once those metrics have been established, then you look back at what's the level of sponsorship look like? Are they solid? Have they been responsible with their previous borrowings?
Mhm.
Do they have some back end liquidity
Mhm.
in case things don't go quite as people are dreaming?
Yep.
But ultimately, if you embrace the model of commercial underwriting, you'll never overpay for a property willingly. You will always pay the right price. You can choose to overpay,
Mhm.
and unfortunately, a lot of people do overpay.
Sure.
And further and more unfortunate is the fact that some of them are dealing with rate resets right now in this current interest rate environment.
Right.
And not only does it challenge normal ownership, if you even had a balanced transaction back during COVID,
Right.
uh, you're even more threatened, and you need more guidance now than ever before if you overpaid.
Yeah.
And you need to know precisely what kind of an eight ball are
You
you behind.
overpaid and you probably had a high interest rate, higher than it is now, potentially.
Well, it back then, it's actually there was kind of a lending trough that was created back then, in that
Mhm.
uh, on August 6th, 2020, the
You
base
with these
rate
dates, you're
the
incredible.
the base rate was 77 basis points, upon which a bank would create a margin
So
to
translate that.
start the
What does
mortgage.
that
Right.
mean to
All right.
people who don't know
All right.
about basis
The
points?
base rate is the cost of funds from the Federal Home Loan Bank
Mhm.
that a bank will mark their mortgage rates against with a margin above it.
Mhm.
So, for example, 77 basis points, if your bank lent at 250 over or 200 over, let's say, the rate then was 2.77.
Mhm. Miss those days.
Now in 2020, we move toward a 5-year term,
Mhm.
and the normal term, the national borrowing staple in commercial for small balance commercial loans to do with real estate investment, is a 525, which is a 5-year initial fixed term
Mhm.
on a 25-year amortization.
Mhm.
So the loans that were made during COVID,
Mhm.
during that month
Mhm.
of COVID in particular, are now going to, they're resetting now. Uh, the base rate on August 6th, 2025 was 4.11%.
Hmm.
So someone's reset rate,
They're in for a rude awakening right now.
unfortunately, they are.
Hmm.
And in many cases, if you're that primarily 1 through 4 family investor who had just moved into commercial at that point.
Mhm.
Uh, some of the rules and some of the nuances of borrowing commercially were not obvious to them at that point. Many folks right now are coming back looking for some clarity in terms of how far do I have to move my rents to move the needle and be able to still cover the mortgage obligation at the prescribed debt service coverage ratio.
Party's over.
It not always, because in some cases, properties that may be somewhat out of balance right now, they may have multiple properties,
Mhm.
and they may actually have an availability of accessible equity.
Right.
You can rebalance that portfolio
Right. Right.
through a number of means, but you won't know until you really get the truth
Mhm.
about what you did and what you did and how it
Be
is today.
Yeah.
And some of those are tough
The only way
conversations
to
to
get the
have.
truth is to talk to the experts, right?
I
And
would,
and
yeah,
not what
you're
would
not
you
going to
say?
figure it out on your
How are you
own.
gonna how are you
No,
gonna figure this stuff out?
dentists don't do their own fillings.
That would be something,
Yeah,
wouldn't
I'd like to watch that, but this is one of those situations where, if, for example, if someone were to call me, I would ask for all the historical mortgage data that went with that initial financing or that initial purchase,
Yep.
and it will take a little bit of time, and by a little bit of time, 2 or 3 hours, but we'll know precisely where their posture is in terms of where they are today, how that is being affected.
You've really made the process for borrowing for someone who's expanding their portfolio, if you will. You've made the process very clear, succinct, pithy. It's been here's the form, fill it out, do your P&Ls, do all these things. It hasn't been overly complicated in any way. Um, we've got a what do you call that letter? An engagement letter,
Hmm.
and it details everything that you need to know as far as what your rate's going to be, how long your term's going to be, any prepayment penalties that might be involved, and so it's almost feels simplified more than a residential
It's actually
mortgage.
easier.
Yeah, it does
It's
feel
so
easier.
straightforward.
Mhm.
And it's something that people can learn. The folks that have moved from 1 through 4 family into commercial, what they're doing now by honing their skills in the commercial side is that they're creating a skill set that they can pass on to their kids and their kids' kids. This is the door opener to multi-generational wealth once you master the initial set of principles.
Yeah.
And we
We're
spend a lot of
trying.
time
I think we're at that point where we're like right now, we're at a purchase of a building, going through the commercial loan process. We're used to having multifamilies and all of these things. So now it's like next level. And it always seemed very intimidating, very scary. And with you, it isn't at all.
Oh, I appreciate that.
As much as you might fly off the handle and get real technical on me,
Me?
it
Technical?
really very technical, Dan. And then I say to you, Dan, dumb it down, make it simple, make me get it. And
Yeah.
you do every time. And I think that's what everyone needs, right? Because when you're talking with colleagues and such, no one can follow along with that. That's why we need you. You're the expert in that type of industry. So to be able to articulate what the process is, what needs to be done is the reason why I wanted to have you on the show today.
Hmm.
So walk me through, as if I've never done this before
Oh
with
boy.
you. Walk me through a typical scenario. I call you. I say I got a building I want to buy, Dan. What's next?
Why do you want to buy it?
Yeah, I guess. You know, uh,
Are you buying it for investment for your own company? Are you buying it for investment for
I
income
guess
purposes?
that's interesting too. I'm buying it for investment for the future. I want to develop the property.
Okay.
Mhm.
What is it today?
Today would probably be something that I would utilize for my business.
Okay.
Am I
So
answering
you're
these
buying it
right?
for no, no, no. You're buying it for its current utility.
Mhm.
But in the long horizon, it's actually a gateway transaction because
Yes.
what you're getting the control of is for what it can be right now and be
Mhm.
valuable to you right now,
Correct.
but you're curious about what it could become.
Mhm.
And in that particular case, in that particular property that we're talking
Yeah.
about,
Yeah.
we know that that neighborhood has gone through some massive redevelopment
Mhm.
and some very significant scaling up from very modest properties into combining assets and building big properties. There's a 20 odd unit apartment property that somewhat of an
Yeah.
inspiration for you that
Yeah.
I financed down the street.
Yeah.
It had been two separate parcels. There was a little house on one. There was a machine shop on the other.
Yeah.
The property was purchased separately, the two parcels.
Mm-hmm.
The plan was to turn it into roughly 20 unit apartment.
Mm-hmm.
The construction loan was put together,
Mm-hmm.
and then the building was completed and it was rented. And then we moved it into a 35-year full-term fixed rate non-recourse and assumable HUD mortgage at a rate that at the time was 2% below the market.
I don't even think people know about HUD mortgages. Did you guys just hear that? 35 years, fixed rate,
Full term,
full term,
non-recourse,
non-recourse,
assumable,
assumable.
perpetually non-recourse, perpetually
Oh,
assumable.
okay, perpetually.
And what that
Are there
does,
prepayments
it
on
there are
penalties on those?
prepayments, but
But
you would
you're gonna
but
hold
if
on
you
to it
but
anyway.
if you sold, first of all, 35-year amortization is a game changer.
Yeah.
And then at a lower debt service coverage ratio than is standard to the banking industry. And then on top of that, the amortization plus a rate that at the time that that loan was closed, back in January, it was a $6.2 million mortgage on a 4 point on a loan. Had it been done at the bank that made the construction loan, it would have only been able to carry 4.7 million,
Hmm.
but it was able to satisfy a $6.2 million mortgage.
At what point does it become a HUD loan?
Well,
And what is HUD? Can you
it
explain
becomes
that?
a HUD at the point where size is the average HUD loan is north of 10 million,
Mhm.
and into infinity.
Sure.
Uh, a HUD loan starts to become a conversation piece once you're at around 3 million.
Mhm.
Um, but it's worth looking at
Yeah.
because it
It's
swings the
fantastic.
needle so dramatically. And in the context of building multi-generational wealth for the folks that built that property.
Mhm.
And at the same time, we're building another property, which is a former mill building up in Nashua.
Mhm.
Those two properties combined, once they're both in their HUD loan structures, their kids and their kids' will want for nothing.
Isn't that amazing? Like, what do we work for, right? I don't know. I work for my kid. I tell him it every day.
Yeah.
Mama's got to go to work to sell the houses
I
to
think
make
about
the
it.
money to buy the
I'm getting
toys, right?
goosebumps right now
Yeah.
because these a lot of people don't realize there's so many different ways to finance
Yeah.
commercial real estate and investment property. And if you're thinking about multifamily or even multifamily with a little bit of a mixed use,
Mhm.
or if you're into the healthcare industry,
Mhm.
or if you're looking at the idea that you want to house older people in dignity on a rental basis, uh,
Ooh, elaborate on that.
well, 10,000
I mean, how
Americans
many
think.
baby boomers do we have?
All right,
Is it, I shouldn't
10,000
quote this.
people a day in America turn 65.
There we go. Okay.
10,000.
That's incredible.
Okay.
Mhm.
Uh,
Where are those people going to
we
go,
are
Dan?
tens of millions of beds short in the country of where we need to be to house our older folks in rental conditions that are dignified. We are not pacing with the
You're
baby
not.
boomers booming.
They sure are. Yeah.
I'm 67.
Mhm.
I have a strong affinity for wanting to serve that part of the market. So when somebody tells me that they'd like to consider the idea of elderly affordable,
Mhm.
my ears perk up immediately because
It's needed.
two things happen. You can build more property because of the ultimate result of the mortgage, or you can build the same property but rent it for far less because of the cost of funds and because the mortgage is more advantageous. So you can do one or more. You can create more, or you can rent for less. And in a direct
And there's
competitive market,
programs that keep those rates lower if you are going to be pursuing that type of
well,
property.
again, HUD financing, as far as I'm concerned, is the pinnacle of permanent mortgage financing for any multifamily or healthcare property. Whether you're going to serve uh, the aged in an apartment setting,
Mhm.
um, if you want to do it and do it well and do it forever and have that property be more competitive than the building next door that is not financed through HUD,
Mhm.
then talk to us about that financing
It
because
really what
it
separates
is massive.
success
Massive difference.
Yeah, it's
Ownership
incredible.
experience, par none.
I'm
You can't even
super
imagine.
excited for
Awesome.
our adventures as we continue to go here, and investors, if you're watching, if you're over in our area in Massachusetts, New Hampshire, you cover how many
Um,
states?
national on the HUD side.
National on the HUD
Yeah,
side, yeah.
yeah.
Um, certainly speak with Dan and go ahead and do your homework and really just have the conversations. Dan's always happy to talk me through scenarios, and we've been able to help so many people. I haven't met one person that hasn't talked to you and been elated. I think you just spoke with a school that I referred you to.
I spoke with Nina this morning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, I'm sure you're really going to be able to help them. You really are helping change people's lives. And I know, as we continue down our road, I know you're going to do the same for me. And it's really, really exciting. And I can't tell you how thankful I am for you.
Yeah, I am too. This is fun to be able to do this. I mean, we've been orbiting the real estate universe doing it for others, but for when I can do it
Yeah,
for a
collaborating
friend,
together.
this is like really fun.
I know.
Finally,
Yeah.
you know,
It all starts to make sense, and it is fun, and there's so much more reward to it, right?
yeah.
It's like all the hard work, all the long nights,
Oh yeah.
all the things that we've been trying to do for so long are going to hopefully pay off for our child and for generations to come.
Yeah,
So
you've been the consummate professional helping hundreds, if not thousands, of people getting into the homes of their dreams. It's great to see you grabbing it, grabbing for
thank
the
you, Dan.
brass ring and
Thank
going
you.
up to that next level. And you know what? Here's what'll happen. You doing that, there are people that are in your client base right now, people who've watched you do your miracles in
Now
the
I
residential
inspire
market,
them.
and you will inspire them.
Well, that's
They
the
will,
whole
they
point.
will, and not only that, having gone through it, you will be able to speak to what a difference it can make.
And that's the whole point of the podcast is telling people I've done it. Here's who I deal with. Here's how you can get it done. Here's how to educate yourself. Literally holding their hands. All of our agents, we're doing the same thing for them. We want them to have generational wealth too. We want them to obviously be fruitful in their sales and then, diversify what they're doing, become property owners, vacation rental owners, all kinds of things that we're hopeful our agents continue to do as they continue to thrive. So I don't know. I don't see any other way of living life besides trying to do better and help as many people as you can for as long as you can, as much as you can.
Yeah.
And so that's been our compass all along. And we are, and I was thinking about it today. I'm so, so fortunate for the people I have met along the way. And I am eternally grateful. And so you never know when you're going to meet that one person who changes your life forever.
Mm.
And you are certainly one of them.
Oh, aren't you
So
kind?
Dan, it really has been fantastic to sit here and be with you. All of our listeners are going to have your information in the notes
Down
below.
there.
In the notes
Down
below,
there.
I'm pointing. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
down there in the rug. And they're going to be able to contact you if they have a situation where they have a commercial loan or they want their commercial loans rerun or reanalyzed.
Call.
Call.
I'm morally and spiritually obligated to help them.
Yeah.
I will do it for free.
Isn't that amazing? You don't always get an introduction to people like this. These are people that are in my Rolodex that I don't want to share. But, for the greater good, I certainly do. So thank you so much, Dan, for being here
I'm
today.
thrilled to
I
have
love
done
you
this.
very much and I'm
This is
very
great.
thankful
You
for
too.
you. Thank you. Thank you.